All right, ladies, good evening. So good to be here with you all. And I barely have a voice left, y'all, but I'm here. Okay. I have been nursing this voice all day as much as possible and still trying to deal with good evening, good evening. So good to be here with you all. It's been an incredible weekend. It's been an incredible weekend. And wait a minute, I am not. I'm about to read out of the wrong book, y'all. I have so many books sitting around me. I'm looking like, wait a minute, that is not it. And that is not it. So we just got finished getting my dad situated, y'all. He was home alone because my grandmother is in the hospital and my mom has been staying with her and he's been without power. And so he had no heat. We had to get him out of there. We had to get him dug out of the house first. Yep, I am Grace. I promise after this, after tonight, because I do have to work tonight. After tonight, I promise I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna shut it down to get some vocal rest. But we could not. I know it's crazy. All that snow, they lost power, and he's been without heat. So we just had to make sure that Daddy Dukes is good. All right. And so he's good for all of those that have been asking. We just got him dug out of the house and just got him situated to go to the hotel to get out of there. But my mom is at the hospital, so she didn't have to deal with it, right? So we are reading, you guys, Think Your Way to Wealth. Think Your Way to Wealth. And I will tell you that I am watching how God will bring everything full circle back to you. What you focus on is what grows. And if you've got your notebook out, I want you to really write that down. What you focus on is what grows. And what I love is in this season, I'm going to be teaching people, everyone knows that my primary business has been network marketing, and still is network marketing. I've always only worked one network marketing company at a time. The reality is that you have to grow and you have to learn. And I'm going to be showing people in the next few months how to diversify their network marketing income, how to take your network marketing income now and turn it into other streams of cash flow. And that's what I'm so excited about. Even this Saturday, here in Atlanta, Georgia, some of the speakers that'll be there, you'll start to understand how to diversify. We're going to have somebody that's going to be there talking about business and marriage. And it is going to be an incredible time if you have, and we're pretty much at capacity. Um, I told people to register, and I mean, y'all saw me posting it every day, right? Like, we're just about at capacity. But you know what happens is people lie so much when they say that they're almost at capacity, and a lot of times people don't believe that you're really at capacity. Well, we really are at capacity. I opened it up this morning, just a little, gave a little nudge to the registration, and I said, well, I told the leaders, in a separate leadership chat, I said, well, y'all going to have to stand up to make sure that all of our guests will sit at the tables, and not stand up meaning we just won't be seated at the tables with all of our guests, to make sure that everyone is seated. We're going to have an amazing time on Saturday, and I look forward to being with you all this weekend. And so my name is Nina Moore, and if this is your first time with us here on Book Club, let me see a one in the comments. Let me see a one in the comments if this is your first time with us on Book Club. But if you're here all the time, let me see you put a three. I like the number three better than the number two. I like the number three, right? Three is a really great number. So let me know if you're always here. Put a three in the comments. And, book club is so important. Personal growth and development is so important. And let me tell you why. Number one, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If I had no tea in this cup right here, there would be nothing coming out of it. So we cannot pour from an empty cup. Number two, and these are not in order of importance. I'm just saying one, two, and three. All of them are important. But secondly, leaders are readers. And if we desire to lead in any capacity of our lives, we must read, which is why God laid this on my heart back in 2019 to host book club, because I realized that there's a lot of people that don't enjoy reading, or they start, Betty, and they don't finish. They'll start a book and then they won't finish, right? They'll skip around. And so listen, y'all know what to do. If y'all can be on camera, please be on camera with me, right? And then third and like I said, they're not in order of importance, but we're never going to earn more than we learn. And so if we close ourselves, what's up, Internet, Nikki Thompson, right? If we close ourselves off to learning and growth, and what I see happens with a lot of people is that they think they know it all already. So if you've had success in other areas of your life, I find that it becomes very difficult for people to kind of go back down to the bottom of the totem pole and do their 10,000 hours. And so for me, when it came to network marketing, I had to do my 10,000 hours when I was a beautician and a salon manager and a stylist. I had spent more than 10,000 hours in that profession and in that industry. But then when I became a network marketer, I had to do my 10,000 hours there. And as a host and a speaker, although I am speaking through my network marketing career, now I'm hosting and now I'm doing 10,000 hours there. Do you all see? So it doesn't matter that I was a top income earner in network marketing. Now I am learning when I went over to the hosting and the speaking and the virtual hosting, in-person hosting and speaking. What happened, Melissa, is I went back down to the bottom of the totem pole because I gotta now work my way back up into 10,000 hours. And if you desire to earn more, we've got to learn more. All right, I want y'all to write that down because there was some bars, right? If you want to earn more, you got to learn more. So we are currently reading Think Your Way to Wealth. We're actually on the chapter of attractive personality, which is chapter 3, attractive personality. And we are right here on page 41. We're on page 41. If somebody's asking, well, where are we at for today? We're in chapter 3, and we're actually on 41, page 41. And we're going to start right here after Napoleon Hill said, it is clear from this catalog that an attractive personality is an invaluable asset. Right? He says anyone studying this list will be able to address their deficiencies so that they can negotiate with life on more favorable terms. We talk about that negotiating with life, right? When did we talk about that? We talk about negotiating with ourselves. When we listen to what? Facing the Giants. We talk about negotiate. He said, negotiate with yourself to tell yourself that you can go further. Isn't that what he said? He said, negotiate with yourself, that you can tell yourself that you can go further. All right. And so then what is the next trait that is necessary for the development of an attractive personality? All right. So I believe we went through our first 10 last week, and I believe we're on our second set of 10 because there are 20 traits to having an attractive personality. So Carnegie says faith. So your next trait is faith. Faith. So I think what I'll do is I'll go back through the traits just in case for the people that missed it last week. The first trait was a positive mental attitude. Number 1, positive mental attitude. Number 2 was flexibility. Write that down. Number 3 was sincerity. Number 4, promptness of decision, making decisions quickly. Wealthy people make decisions quickly. And it's funny because I heard a lady saying this weekend, well, actually one of the ladies that I watch, she's a she's top in sales. And she said, yeah, wealthy people, if they make a mistake, oh well, they'll apologize. They will apologize. They would rather apologize and have to beg their pardon than to miss the opportunity. So wealthy people make decisions quickly. They don't think long. They make them quick. The next one is courtesy. So promptness of decision, courtesy. After courtesy, we have tone of voice and the habit of smiling. Tone of voice and the habit of smiling. Y'all know we hear people say it all the time. Don't they just look mean? And some people that just look mean all the time and don't even realize. I'm gonna start taking pictures of people and showing them how they look mean. Just look mean all the time. Then after tone of voice and habit of smiling is facial expression. Facial expression. Then we've got tactfulness. Number 9 is tactfulness. And number 10 is tolerance. Okay, number 10 is tolerance. I'm sorry, so we did go a little bit further. Number 11 was frankness of manner and speech. That was number 11. Frankness of manner and speech. Number 12 is a keen sense of humor, because nobody wants you serious all the time. Can you have some fun? Right? So, keen sense of humor was number 12. And we're starting number 13 right now. Number 13 is faith. Which is the most profound of all of the elements comprising an attractive personality? Faith is woven into every principle of philosophy, of achievement, because it is the force that supports all of success, regardless of its type. The faith about which I speak has nothing to do with the supernatural or the theological. It is a state of mind necessary to express initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, self reliance, and definiteness of purpose. Without it, no person can rise above mediocrity. Now, I'm going to let that one marinate, because Carnegie says no person can rise above average without faith. And he's not even talking about, Cheryl, the supernatural kind of faith. He's saying if you don't even believe, if you don't have the state of mind to express initiative, meaning that you don't have the state of mind to express initiative, meaning you won't even get moving because you don't believe, they're just talking about faith. Faith that, hey, if I just get moving. You know, one of the words I used a lot this weekend at the AI summit was execute. Execute. Like, I wanted them to leave there hearing me in their mind saying execute. And when I got to the brunch yesterday, one of the ladies walked up to me and said, she said, every time I thought I was going to just sit down and do nothing, I kept hearing your voice saying execute, execute, execute. I said, good, good. So now I'm in your subconscious mind, not allowing you to just sit there and muddle and do nothing. And it was so crazy that I didn't know how many people can't even just go to their stories and put up a story, until I saw that room on Saturday fumbling through not being able to put up a story. I said, well, gosh, we got to have a whole content day for y'all, because they had no clue how to even put a post up immediately. So without faith, no person can do what? Rise above mediocrity. They can't rise above average. So Napoleon Hill says, are you saying that a person's brain is a piece of machinery that is built to perform a very specific function in the business of living? Carnegie says, yes, exactly. And the power that operates this machinery is a form of energy that comes from the outside, and faith is the master gate through which an individual may give their brain free and full access to the great universal power that operates it. So, what that just said is there are a lot of people who won't allow their brain to have full access, meaning you just let go of all control, full access, so that the supernatural can take place. Full access, meaning that you're not weighing, well, what if I fail? I asked the question, Cheryl, well, what if you don't? What if you don't fail, Mary? Antoinette, what if you actually do win? And you know what? We got to identify, well, what is really winning? What is a win? Because here's the thing. I can't compare my win to that of an Alicia Little. Alicia Little has been training her AI courses for over 20 years. So in that space, Cheryl, if I was to walk in that space, I can't compare myself to Alicia Little and why she has the following that she does in AI. She's worked with NASA. I mean, she's building AI consultants all over the world. I can't compare myself to her. The kind of income she brings in from the revenue that she brings in from her communities. I can't compare myself to her. So all I got to do now is say, but what is it that God has for me when I can release all restraints, right, Mary? When I can release all restraints off of my mind to say, thy will be done. And we're okay in theory, Pastor Sean, when we say things like, thy will be done. Until God say, well, get up and go then. Go get up and talk to that person then. Go get it. And I'll use this as the perfect example. As exhausted as I was yesterday, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, Saturday. As exhausted as I was after speaking, I saw the guy come out of the room in the wheelchair. Cheryl, I was faced with a choice. I knew, Miss Betty, that if I stopped that man to patch him, that was going to turn into something that was going to keep me there for a minute. Now, I didn't know it was going to be like 2.5 hours later. I figured it might be like an hour later. But I got so lost. You know what's so crazy, Pastor Sean? I got so lost in it, I didn't even know what time it was. I was lost in it. It wasn't until Paul said, Paige said she's starving. But let me tell you something, Antoinette, Nikki, she's such a team player. Like she knows what we do as a family. She would even come to me to say, Mom, I'm hungry. She was more concerned about the people getting their healing and getting what they needed than the fact that she was hungry. So maybe she thought, if I tell my dad, maybe he'll just sneak off with me and we can go get something to eat. Y'all see what I'm saying? And I'm using that as an example to show you that your mission has to be so clear that even an 11-year-old understands what you're doing. See, there's no doubt if my family calls me at a specific time, they'll say, oh, darn it, you on your calls, right? You on your Zoom, right? They know on Monday night, Nikki, that they can't call me between 5:45 and 9 o'clock. They already know on Mondays, they know I do book club. They know I go from book club to probably another call. And then from another call to our call. That's once a week. And my mom will say, your once a week call, right? Now, if the people that you're connected to, I remember in a previous company we were in, Alicia's husband used to say to her, why you not on a call? Y'all ain't on no calls today? Yes, her husband. Her husband used to ask her, why y'all not on a, ain't you supposed to be on a call? He was holding her accountable. And then she would say, well, we didn't have a call tonight. And he was like, well, what's going on with that? Because y'all always have a call. So imagine now that the people outside, the people that are watching you, the people that love you, the people that are connected to you, they know better than you. Aren't you supposed to be on your Zoom? Aren't you supposed to be committed to what you said you was going to be committed to? That's basically what her husband was saying to her. So Carnegie says, yes, exactly. And the power that operates this machinery is a form of energy that comes back from outside. And faith is the master gate through which an individual may give their brain free and full access to their great universal power that operates it. I want everyone to say right now or write it down. We got to give our brain free and full access. Give your brain free and full access. Because the hand that opens this gate is desire or motive. So, what is it that actually opens the gate to this mind of yours? Can give it free and full access is your desire or your motive. It's so good. Let me sip this tea, y'all. Your desire or your motive. A lot of people try to tell you, oh, watch what I do. And I tell people, please stop it. Because I don't listen with my ears. I listen with my eyes. I listen with my eyes because you can't stop a person that has a real desire or a motive to win. You can't stop them. You know, somebody said to me, how in the world did you get your qualification done for the trip so fast? Well, I knew that the trip was coming up. And because I'm in motion all the time, not just when there's a trip on the line, somebody will catch that. Somebody will catch that. Because I'm in motion all the time, whether there's a trip on the line or not. But I also knew, let me just get in motion because I do know that there's a trip coming up. So I don't want to wait to qualify, because if we notice what our CEO does is he will backtrack and say, well, it'll start from the beginning of the month. We see his pattern. We know his patterns. Oh, that is so good. So when we know God's patterns, right, Pastor Sean, we know that it might hurt for a little while and we might not understand. We might not understand why we're going through this darkness. We might not understand his plans, his ways, his will. We might not understand it. But what we do know is because God's record is always good and true and faithful and kind and just and all those things, why do we worry? If we know his patterns, what is God's pattern in your life? So what is there to fret for if we know his patterns? My sheep know my what? We know his voice. Oh, we know what the word says now. But his sheep know his voice. And we know. So here we go. The degree to which the gate opens. Oh, this is so good. Listen to this. The degree to which the gate opens depends on the type of desire expressed. Only those desires that reach the proportion of an obsession, burning desires, opens the gate wide. Not where we came from, not who we married to, not who we live with, not what our parents did, not da 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 da. No, only, oh my goodness, I think we got to read that one again. The degree to which the gate opens depends on the type of desire expressed. Only those desires that reach the proportion of an obsession, a burning desire, opens the gate wide. So when people are wondering, well, I don't understand. Why no customers, no, when stuff, why is it not happening for you? Because the type of desire expressed, only those desires that reach the proportion of an obsession. Is it safe to say, when it comes to my super patch business, for those of you that know me, is it safe to say I'm obsessed? Is it safe to say that? Yes or yes? Is it safe to say I'm obsessed? Is it safe to say that I have a burning desire to see other people? I have an obsession, a burning desire to see everybody that I know feel well and those that are connected to me make money. The problem is, Pastor Sean, that I can't want it more for a person than what they want for themselves. That's where the friction comes, because a person says, Nikki, what they want. They say, I'm going all in. They say it. And then what happens is it doesn't come to pass, because the book just said, let me read it again. Let me read it again, because it ain't Nina. The book says that the degree to which the gate opens depends on the type of desire expressed, not by me, but by you, the individual. It says only those desires that reach the proportion of an obsession, a burning desire, will open the gate wide. Burning desires are not backed merely by reason. They are accompanied by strong emotion. So we could say whatever we want. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. If we don't have a burning desire, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing, whether you want to call it God, the Holy Spirit, some people call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, it knows. God knows. God knows whether we playing with it or whether we really have a burning desire and obsession. And guess what, y'all? Having a burning desire or obsession doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean you know exactly how to do a thing. You can have a burning desire and be ignorance on fire. because the desire will make up for the lack of skill. Your energy will make up for a lack of skill. Your joy and emotion will make up for a lack of skill. So Mr. Hill says, Mr. Carnegie, what are the benefits of faith? He says, second, faith, oh, I'm sorry. He said, this is still Carnegie. Second, faith gives you a broader perspective, which promotes understanding in all human relationships, thereby enhancing all the qualities in an attractive personality. Third, faith removes all of the imaginary obstacles on the path to success and helps you overcome the real obstacle standing in your way. All right, let me make sure we read that a little slower. All right, I want y'all to hear what he just said. Third, faith removes all of the imaginary obstacles. See, I knew I had to slow it down because I know y'all didn't hear what he said. He said, faith gives you a broader perspective, which promotes understanding in all human relationships. But then he says, faith removes all the imaginary obstacles on the path to success and helps you overcome the real obstacle standing in your way. Does anybody know what the real obstacle that is standing in your way? It's a 2-letter word and it starts with an M. That's right. It's an imaginary obstacle. You know, Pastor Sean, I went to an event, an ANMP event, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. And when I went to that network marketing event in Dallas, Texas, I saw a man with no legs walk across the stage. Somebody's going to catch what I just said. His name is Nick. To start off with, not a crazy last name. I saw a man, Mary, with no legs walk across a stage and teach, Cheryl. He taught, going back and forth across the stage. No legs. So he has no legs, and there are people who have legs that are more handicapped than he is. Because I bet you, if he was selling Super Patch, Betty, he'd be on stumps, because I guess that's what we call him. He don't have legs. He would be all over the world, rolling around, having somebody roll him around in a wheelchair, taking him to and fro to talk about Super Patch. So tell me, what is the problem? If I saw a man with no legs walk across the stage, what are we doing? Because the book says faith removes all of the imaginary obstacles on the path to success and helps you overcome the real obstacle, which is standing in your way, which we all agreed is you. Just say me. Just say me. Carnegie says, I'm sorry, Mr. Hill says, Mr. Carnegie, can you share what you consider to be the most important facts in connection with faith? Carnegie says, first, the power available through faith is inexhaustible and free to use. Oh my goodness. I can't even shout like I want to. He says, the power is free to use. What are we even talking about right now? Second, listen, the method of accessing and using this power is simple and within reach of every individual. All you have to do is voluntarily appropriate the power through the medium of desire or motive. So could it be that if someone's not having success, it is because they absolutely have no desire to? Because that's what the book says. You playing with yourself and you wasting the time of the people that you're telling your crazy story to about how you how, oh yeah, I'm all in. I'm about to kill it. Let me just tell my dad I'm on book club because he's texting me. Hold on, y'all. He's calling my phone. Actually, I want to make sure he's okay. Let me just make sure he's good. Okay. So here we go. Is it really all the reasons we make it? Or is it really that you have no motive or desire to go all in? Because this says, let's go back. The degree to which the gate opens, because, oh, let's go back. The hand that opens this gate is desire or motive. We're talking about the gate of your brain. There is no other known way to open this gate. The degree to which the gate opens depends on the type of desire expressed. Only those desires that reach the proportion, reach the proportion of obsession, burning desires, open the gate wide. So we can forget it with all of the blah, 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 because this is exposing that the real reason you're not where you want to be is because you have no desire to be. Because if you had the desire, it's funny because before everybody started to get on, Melissa was talking to me and she was like, Nina, I made so much money this weekend. She said, I made $1,000 sitting in a funeral, then more money on the way to the funeral, and then more money at the repast. Like, so there's really no excuse. Got product, you make money. Have no product, make no money. Tell nobody, make no money. Won't post about it, make no money. Won't put a patch on somebody, make no money. I mean, do we see desire? How desire, literally, I didn't say one word to anybody this weekend about having super patch. I didn't say nothing to Les Brown. I didn't say nothing to nobody else. The floodgates, $4,000 in retail. The floodgates. Why, Pastor Sean? Because I got a burning desire and I'm obsessed. So, first, the power available through faith is inexhaustible and free to use. Second, the method of accessing and using this power is simple and within reach to every individual. All you have to do is voluntarily appropriate the power through the medium of desire or motive. Write in the comments, desire or motive. Y'all quiet today. It's all right. The final profound fact that I will mention is that the power of thought is the only thing over which any human being has complete control. It's the only thing we've got complete control over, y'all. What we think. What we think. What we think. Oh man, they sure I ain't like what she said. What? Let, let me tell y'all something. I was in a company where I made somebody a millionaire. Pastor Sean, you saw it. You witnessed it. I made somebody a millionaire. Melissa, you saw it. You witnessed it. Tedra, you saw it. You witnessed it. Nikki, you saw it. You witnessed it. And every day they bashed me on social media. Cheryl Davis, every day. It was like they were obsessed with bashing me on social media. Here's what's crazy. I was blocked. So I didn't even see it. So if you were trying to get to me, it didn't matter. I was blocked. I made you a millionaire, but you bashing me every day on social media. Now, I could have easily said, and I mean, there were days when I would get a phone call from Pastor Sean and she would say, I just want to pray for you today because I'm human. And as a human, based on some of the things that were posted, thankfully I didn't see a lot of it, but based on what was posted, she thought I might have seen it and she would just call me to kind of like, let me pray for you today, sis, because I want to encourage you just in case. She wouldn't even say what it was. I just want to pray for you, right? I could have chosen Cheryl to say, you know what? I don't know who she thinks she is talking about me. I'm telling y'all, publicly bashing me and my team that she became a millionaire off of. Ladies and gentlemen, I got laser focused and I made a decision and I said, God, you got to help me because I don't feel good about this. But God, you got to help me because I don't know why you choose to bless whom you choose to bless. And for whatever reason, you used me. This is what I said to God. I want to pass this test because I understand that this is an area that you're trying to grow me up in. See, I realized, Cheryl, that it had nothing to do with the other individual and everything to do with me. That God will use people to chisel off areas of you that need to be chiseled off. And so I decided to keep moving forward no matter what was being said about me publicly. See, because what I also understand, Ms. Betty and Nikki and Mary and Pastor Sean and sure y'all on the first page of my thing, and Angela and Nichelle and Tamara and Jamaica, you know what I understood? Is that in order to elevate your income, to have a higher level of income, Pastor Ann, you have to be able to handle more conflict. If you can't, she's shaking her head because they teach this in their psychology. That's why. If you can't handle conflict, you're not ready to earn higher levels of income. So, Candace, if you fly off the handle, Miss Brenda, Miss Mama Nisi, if we fly off the handle every time something happens, what happens is the things we're trying to attract automatically know we are not ready. And you stay stuck right where you are. So while I got somebody bashing me publicly, Virginia, you saw it, you were there, right? Bashing me publicly. Miss Brenda, you saw it, you were there. Bashing me publicly, y'all. Like bad bashing me. Mama Nisa, you saw some of it. I had to make a choice. And I want y'all to write this down. I think about this every single time I'm about to fly off the handle. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? Write it down. Do you want to be rich, Nina, or do you want to be right? And you know what I decided, Angela? It is so, I've been broke before. I'm telling y'all. I know what it's like to be broke, and I know what it's like to not be broke. And you know what? Not being broke feel better than being broke. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? See, a lot of people will fight to be right. And another gentleman, let me tell you, this gentleman helped me a long time ago. And this was years before I was married. I was dating a pastor and we never argued. Never had an argument. And I remember about 11 months in the show, I said, I find it so strange. We've never had an argument. And you know what he asked me? I mean, you know what he asked me? He said, do you want to have an argument? He said, because people don't have to argue. And I said, it was so strange because Pastor Sean, like, I was so used to accustomed to just always having arguments with people, right? I'm dating you, we together, argument. And Nikki, he said, well, do you want to have an argument? And I was so stunned, like, huh? Like, no, no, I don't want to have an argument. And he said, Nina, here's what I realized. I don't always have to be right. So it's really nothing to argue about. He said, you have an opinion and your opinion is valid. He said, so I don't have to argue that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And I want to validate how you feel. May not be right, may not be wrong, but I don't always have to be right. And because I don't always have to be right, what do we have to argue about? And I sat there looking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because I was so used to toxic relationships where you argue. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? You cannot run your business or your life through your feelings. And especially in business, there are no feelings in finance. I don't know who needed to hear that because that is definitely not in the book, but that is Holy Ghost. Okay? There are no feelings in finance. And if we can't handle our feelings, as good as we might be, our income will be capped because we can't be trusted with our emotions. How can we lead others if we can't lead ourselves? Bam. So, the final profound fact that I will mention is that the power of thought is the only thing, the power of thought, control our thinking. The power of thought is the only thing over which any human being has complete control. We have complete control over our thoughts. And if we control our thoughts, we control our actions, which means our mouths. We won't run our mouths. Get healing for whatever went on in the past. So you know why I argued so much, Pastor Sean? I argued because I watched my mama argue. And then I argued because I also thought I wasn't being heard. So I would just argue. And it wasn't until he said to me, well, I don't always have to be right. And then when another business mentor of mine said, Nina, do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? I said, I want to be rich. He said, then shut your mouth. And I promise you, that person that told me that was not a good person. But they said the one thing that I have carried with me through my entire business. So we have complete control. And this right is protected by a system that makes it impossible for one person to know exactly what another is thinking. So Napoleon Hill says, well, Mr. Carnegie, what is the next trait of an attractive personality? He said it's a keen sense of justice. Justice. It should be common sense, he says, but clearly it's not. That individuals cannot become popular or attractive unless they deal justly with others. So, do you treat people the way you want to be treated? Napoleon Hill says, well, what do you mean by justice? Carnegie says justice, as I use the term here, means intentional honesty. Some people are honest only when it benefits them. But as soon as their interests are at stake, they stretch or abandon the truth. The person with a pleasing personality adheres to a rigid policy of honesty, regardless of whether it benefits them or not. There are numerous benefits to a keen sense of justice, including it increases your self reliance and self respect. It promotes a clear conscience. It attracts friends and prevents enemies. It clears the way for the state of mind known as faith. It protects you from becoming enmeshed in controversies. It boosts initiative in connection with the major purpose in life. It decreases the likelihood of personal damages or embarrassment, and it discourages greed and selfishness, instead boosting your understanding of your rights, your privileges and responsibilities. A keen sense of justice directly contributes to the development of the other traits of an attractive personality. So Mr. Hill says, Mr. Carnegie, that brings us to number 15 in the list of traits that traits of a pleasing personality, which is appropriateness of words. There is no excuse for using offensive or careless language in today's age, in today's day and age. And it's a good idea to avoid colloquialisms and slang. There are plenty of words available to express your exact meaning without resorting to these. Ms. Hill says, well, how can a person develop an adequate and appropriate vocabulary? Carnegie says, an acquaintance of mine who has the best vocabulary that I know and who always uses the most appropriate word in every circumstance devotes 30 minutes a day to reading the dictionary. Yes, literally reading it. As I mentioned earlier, speech is the means by which thought finds expression and the primary means by which humans are judged. As such, care in the choice of words and in the tone of voice in which words are expressed are a paramount of importance. What a wonderful thing a word is. Now, what is the 16th trait of an attractive personality? I have termed it emotional control. Oh my goodness. This book done made me hot. It done made me hot. Uh-oh, rut-row. Emotional control. The vast majority of people are driven primarily by their emotions rather than their reason. Our ability to control our emotion not only adds to the attractiveness of our personality, but it also to a great extent determines our success. Lord have mercy. Emotional control will determine your success. So Hill says, well, what do you suggest as the first step towards gaining such control over our emotions, Mr. Carnegie? Mr. Carnegie says the first step is to identify the major emotions so that we can recognize them. A noted psychologist has prepared a list of the most common emotions, both positive and negative, that are expressed in daily life. The 7 primary negative emotions are you ready? 7 primary negative emotions are fear, jealousy, hatred and envy, revenge and malice, greed, superstition and distrust, and anger. I'll read those again. The 7 primary negative emotions are fear, jealousy, hatred and envy, revenge and malice, greed, superstition and distrust, and anger. While the 7 primary positive emotions are love, sex, hope, faith, desire, optimism, and loyalty. Love, sex, hope, faith, desire, optimism, loyalty. These 14 words represent the keyboard on the piano of life, on which an individual plays the chords of harmony that lead to happiness in its fullest meaning, or the discords of unhappiness that lead to misery and obscurity. These 14 emotions equate to mental attitude. Again, these 14 emotions equate to your mental attitude. They are nothing but feelings of states of mind. More importantly, they can be organized, directed, and completely controlled by any normal person. Yikes. So Hill says, I've got about 5 more minutes and then I got a hard stop today. Hill says, what are the means by which individuals can control their emotions? Carnegie says the only thing people have to do is to take charge of their mind. Let me say it again. The only thing people have to do is to take charge of their mind and exercise control over their thoughts. If you do not control your thoughts, you will condemn your life to the stray winds of chance. Remember, you begin to control your mind and therefore your emotions when you adopt a definite major purpose. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. I got 3 more minutes. It sounds like if people regularly check themselves against each of these emotions, they will make tremendous strides towards controlling their emotions. See, a lot of times what has happened, Pastor Sean, is we haven't been taught to think. We've just been taught to react based on what we see. But we got to pause and think, because this just said you will not even be successful if we can't control our emotions. So regularly check themselves. They make tremendous strides towards controlling their emotions. Carnegie says that is correct. Everyone should create a checklist and rate themselves on each of these emotions daily. He says this is a positive step to take towards self-mastery, a goal that must be pursued and attained by all who wish to make life pay. So you must grow we got to grow in our self-mastery. Mr. Hill says, well, Mr. Carnegie, you've covered the first 16 traits of an attractive personality. What is next? And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to get stuck in number 16 is where we're going to, number 16 is where we're going to start next week when we meet again on March the 2nd, I believe it is. Next Monday is March the 2nd. And we're going to meet again on March the 2nd. And I will post it in my stories and in our team pages. I'm so glad we had this time together. Oh my goodness. We only got through 3 more of the 20 traits of an attractive personality. Because what I found is, y'all, when people think that you're going to react every single time, or you have no facial expressions, you have no, because we're either going to look like we're warm and welcoming or we're not. Or we're not. We either look like somebody can approach us or we don't. And we gotta take control of our emotions so that we can make some money and make some big money. All right. So I am Nina Moore, and I am excited to have had you all here with us today. I want you to enjoy the rest of your evening. You can meet us right back here on this Zoom line at 7:45 when we start the party, right? In about 1 hour, we start our party, and then at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be here. I'll be here tonight with Dr. Tamara Dunn and myself at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if not, we hope that you will meet us next Monday night on this same Zoom link and bring a friend. So enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your week. Be kind to one another, do a good deed, and pay it forward. And always remember that God loves you, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do